All right, so today's video, we're back with watching an OWCS pro player. This one is, we're gonna watch from Pelican. Now, obviously, Pelican's been around pro play for quite a long time now. Very, very, very good DPS player. Very consistent, and this is a game that happened recently in OWCS. You're gonna see a lot of Wu Yang, etc. And we're gonna see some Genji, I think, Tracer point of view here from Pelican on Junkertown. So it should be a really cool matchup. I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't even know the result of this matchup, but this was a Cheeseburger versus Zeta matchup, and my understanding of this matchup is that it was 2-0 Cheeseburger at one point. So I think it's 2-1 going into the series here, but I just want to see how, you know, I haven't watched a pro Genji like point of view in a long time, so it'd be really cool to see. So it's like pro Genji, Tracer, all that. A lot of what you're gonna see from Genji is, so you're not gonna be able to dive backline the whole time, so it's a lot of like just farm and blade from a distance, right? Like farm blade from a distance. Ooh, yup, rock. Holy crap. Well, you know what? So far, I can play Genji like that. I got this. I got this. Now, obviously, Pelican's an unreal player. Sometimes the other player just makes a better play. That was a good rock. I gotta be honest. Like, that was good. So much for farm and blade. True. You can tell Pelican's very scared about going against the Widow there on the deflect. So I think what my guess is Pelican's end goal here is to maybe get map control behind to pressure the Widow and eventually go for the play. But we'll see. Maybe it's just play the angle, the off angle, and then just kind of like, so it looks like a lot of just like angle playing here. Yep. Well, wait, chat. Can we talk about how smart that Venomine was? Like, this is the little things that somebody said earlier, like, you get impressed by a lot of stuff like that. I love that. They were so prepared for this spot that a Venomine was placed right here. So that way, if Genji did go for the flank behind, it is known. Also, what the heck? It is, where was it? It was like right here. The Venomine. So when the Genji dashed up, that's what happened. So like, let me see if I can rewind just a little, like a second like away. Let me see. See the Venomine right here? So rather than have the Venomine back here on the Widow, because the Widow is so far away, you can see it coming, you put, and like your team's gonna be able to see if the Genji goes here, you basically just put a Venomine here so you don't get surprised. So now the Widow is aware of this play. So when Pelican, I think at 31% dashes up there, watch, like watch, into a Venomine. So now you have that vision, you know what's going on. See? So they're pinging the Widow, and then, yeah, so Pelican did exactly what we thought was gonna happen. You're basically just going around the map to get in the Widow. Widow used grapple, they're gonna call this, and then gonna fall over, but very good, like, methodical play. Do you notice how that took a minute and a half to get that done? Sometimes it's what you gotta do. It's not all just about, like, you know, just dashing into their team and going for kill after kill. Sometimes you just gotta go take care of what the problem is. How many times have you been in a game where, like, a Widow will dominate, and you're basically talking about how the Widow's dominating, but, like, there's nothing happening like that? That's why it's important as a DPS sometimes to take angles and to not just stack on your team, right? You hear about it all the time, like, don't stack, play a different angle, because when you stack as 5, you know, while that you kind of used to be, you know, Overwatch, it's changed a lot over the years, and a lot of it is taking an angle and making them have to turn around, and if they don't turn around, you get a free kill on Widow, and that's what happened. So yep. I like how Pelican was shooting at his own Hanzo there. Here we go. It seems like Pelican's go-to against the Widow is always just pop deflect right away. Like that, there must be just so much success with that play. Huh. Did both Wu Yangs just like ult each other to survive? Did I see that right? Like, I think they both just like ulted each other to stay, like they both like self-ulted. That was great. I gotta admit, that was great peel by Pelican and the team. Like, that was a weird team fight to see happen, but that was a really good one. All right, so we're gonna go take map control. They have one on cart. Probably gonna be the Wu Yang, because Wu Yang wants to be the furthest away. Setting up for high ground. Yep. One thing we've seen a lot recently with Wu Yang in pro play, a lot of spam. A lot of just spamming corners and doing splash damage to deal with flankers. That's what you're seeing right there. The health icon? Oh, just because, like, in the replay viewer. Oh, nanoblade time. I gotta be honest with you. You know who really clutched that? Like, I didn't see it, but did Finn hit a sleep? Because I think Finn just clutched that. I didn't see what happened, but like that Sigma ultimate was about to get the Genji, which you wouldn't have lost an extra one. I think like I might as well just look, or Sigma rocked him. No, there's not a Sigma to rock. I'm just curious now. We'll skip right ahead. I just want to see something here. I think I heard the sleep right on the Sigma. So here's the Sigma. I just want to see this. Now I'm just curious. Yep, it's Finn. Look at Finn. So do you see Finn running up? Watch. Hits the sleep, which then saves the Genji. So the Genji actually gets a kill because of that. Wow, that was cool. I was wondering what happened there, but that was a really good play. That's how that went. Okay, we're back in. No, that play was set up. That's why Pelican was playing so aggro, was the nano. So Finn got the nano off, and then he hit a huge sleep on Sigma. Really good play. Nice play. You know, it's funny, you know, watching Pelican play Genji here, and I think maybe I've just been so used to seeing rank Genji. Like, I could, like the Genji style of just, like, kind of, like, just poking out and not really being too aggro, I really like. And then timing your aggression when the timing's right, like this, exactly. Like, that's probably how you play Genji, but it's been so long since I've watched, like a pro Genji point of view that I just, like, it's just, like, it's a very chill, like, spam playstyle. And actually, technically, I imagine the Genji buff only solidified that, right? Not the Genji buff, let me rephrase that. Remember when they made Genji shoot faster? Like, it just, like, now you can do that even more so. Ooh, look at this play by Pelican. Holy crap. A little bit aggro, and that's kind of what I expect to happen with, like major aggressiveness there, but ends up getting one, and that might be enough. Has Blade, probably gonna wait for Nano, and maybe not. Let's see. What? Yes. Wow. Great blade by Pelican there. That was clean. Yeah, very clean gameplay. Very, very clean gameplay here. It's cool to see. Go to the next round here. It's a longer game, so I'm curious to see how the defense goes. Here we go. Hi, buddy. Alright, so playing kind of in their spawn here. This is I didn't know you could, like, sit on top of that spot. See, this spot I never really, like... I mean, what heroes do I play that I'd be up there? That's cool to see. It's like a spot you can kind of spam from. It's very safe, too. Because you can rotate out. That's cool. Like, I didn't realize you could stand on top of this rock. Because I don't ever play a hero that needs to. So, good to know if I ever play Genji. Maybe my Mystery Heroes Tuesday will pick up on that, you know? This is a pro player, so champion. You know, listen, I think Pelican's doing what the team wants there, but I got to give credit to the Sigma there. Like, the Sigma rocks have been, like, deadly. Like, that was just a good play again. Apparently, that's just a part of Pelican's gameplay loop here on this map, is get rolled by the Sigma on the first team fight and then roll the rest of the way. You know, it's just a part of the gameplay. Sigma's a lot better now, too, with that perk that lets you manage your shield more. Nice to see. Going for the Widow now. Exactly the correct play. Also, one thing you're going to notice, chat, the Widow, and this is really good in, like, even in ranked, always ping the Widow for your teammates. Because some people will call the Widow, but pinging the Widow will help your flankers know how to position to get to the Widow. Yeah, the prediction was really good there. So just always remember that. I think sometimes people forget to ping the Widow. And, like, even if it's not going to help you directly, it's going to help the rest of your team. Honestly, I think that this is a situation where the strategy from Zeta is to hold, like, the coast side there, and the strategy for Cheeseburger at the time was to deny the coast. That seems to be what the play was, and they did a really good job of that, so... Yep. Did you ping a little bit too much? I mean, depends what you're pinging, right? I do think the Freya swap was really smart by Cheeseburger, too. Because when you do the Freya swap there, it basically means that the dive from Genji's a lot worse. Oh, that's good luck. Damn, good peel. Honestly, I think Pelican thought the kill on Lucio was going to happen. So when Pelican went in, thought the Lucio was dead, was going to get the dash reset from the kill, and didn't get the kill. And then that was that. At what point do you give up a checkpoint? Map control. So sometimes you'll see teammates give up the checkpoint really early here on this point to control the high ground here. And the reason why you do that is because map control on Junkertown can be really tough on a retake if snowballed, because you have to come through these small hallways, right? So a lot of the time, Junkertown's one of the easier ones to figure out. If you feel like if you drop down, they have map control on each side, just give them the point and control this part of the map. It's better to hold here for 3 minutes than to give up 3 minutes worth of hold time for that one team fight that's kind of risky. So, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's a little bit of risk reward for that retake, but I think that's on Junkertown. It's pretty much, if they're set up on map control and you just don't have the ultimates to win, hold close to buy time here. And that's kind of what their decision was. And you can save more time that way. Boy. So we're seeing some, the hacked health packs is from Hanzo, by the way, chat. Do I actually think these ways during games? I'll answer that in a question. I'll answer that in a second. Did I say I'll answer that in a question? I don't know what I said. I think I said that. I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, not the best blade there, but it happens, right? Oh, on to Tracer now. Which I think the Freya swap kind of forced the Tracer swap here. I think Freya was just like, it basically means you don't have an easier dive target, so like you're just like too much in the neutral. But your question, do I actually think about these during games? Yeah. If you ever notice when I call, right, I make a lot of call outs when I'm playing. So, like you'll hear me make a call like Genji no deflect, right? And people are like, why are you calling this? So I'm thinking this way because all that information I want to feed to my teammates. So yes, like these things that you're asking, are we thinking about? Absolutely. That's why whenever I calm a lot, because someone in the game is going to need that useful information. So Genji, no deflect. Sombra, use translocator. Hazard, no wall. While that sounds like it's a lot of information, I want that information, right? So I try to apply that same knowledge every game to help with that. And that's what they do in the pro play. That's why you see the ping system. That's why you're thinking about map control. All of that little information is so important to win in games. It's just, in ranked, it's a little bit different. You know, you might have people out of voice. You might have people who aren't listening to the calls. I mean, sometimes I might be jamming out to music. We know, to each their own, right? So it's a little bit different. But I always say developing those good habits, especially if you want to climb, is really good. So I think it's important to do that if you want to keep climbing and keep improving, because maybe one day you want to try to be a pro. Maybe one day you want to be on a scrim team, and that type of stuff is going to be really good to have, and it's good to go into that with a little bit of that development of that, rather than having to learn it as you get into that. Does that make sense? So that's why I try to apply it. I mean, I don't scrim nowadays anymore, right? Like obviously I'm a streamer nowadays, but it's good. It's a good habit to get into if you can. So this isn't ranked. This is pro play. So this is OWCS. These are some of the best teams. This is an OWCS Korea. Matches just started this week, so this is all current stuff. And again, shout out to OBS Sojourn. Always has all these replay codes available to go. Always having good replay point of views, all that. So always a good resource to check out if you're more interested in this type of stuff. So Pelican obviously makes a swap to Tracer. I think this was a lot of what was going on with what Cheeseburger was doing. It just became impossible for Genji to get value, so now you get to see Genji Tracer. And might see a very similar play style. We'll see. A lot of this is just doing some poke damage. being aggressive at the same time as your teammates, which is exactly what happens on the Wu Yang ult. They chose Hazard, and then there you go, so. Just chilling. Health pack perk is still dominant. I don't really see many Traces doing the ammo perk in pro play, because, like, you don't want to be as close sometimes. So it's like, you get way more uptime with the health pack one. More blinks, the better. Good movement there. Again, don't need to get the kill sometimes. Just need to make the other team waste their cooldowns. There we go. Even watching the person who does breakdowns on Oh, you're talking about OC? Yeah, she does a great job. Oh yeah, she does a really, really good job. Absolutely. Playing to live. A lot of just cooldown management. I think right now what's happening, and you can kind of see it, is like during this part of the game, Zeta wasn't quite sure how they wanted to stop Cheeseburger after a certain point. Like, you just, like, they started to get snowballed, so it was a lot of individual 1v1s. Like, Pelican there was trying to survive, but a really good job by Argon and, like, the team to go back there and, like, prevent that a little bit, so. If must have sending my Tracer VODs? Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, sure. Yeah. One thing that is going to be a little bit underrated here on any of the pro Tracer point of views, patience. Do you notice how, like, while all that stuff was happening, and obviously they don't win this team fight, but, like, do you notice how Pelican just stopped for a second? Sometimes that is a better play than just running into their team hitting buttons. And while it didn't result in them winning the team fight, I just want you to, like, take note of that patience sometimes. Of, like, how kind of chilled for a second and waited and didn't over, like, extend. Like, I think that's just it's knowing, like, okay, I can't really do anything here, so give me a second to figure out who's next. And again, lost the team fight, but just take note of that sometimes. You're going to see pro players do that where, like, they just don't do anything for a second. And maybe sometimes that's just to hide, you know, not to make any noise, not to give away their position, or waiting for the right cooldown to be used before they go and commit their cooldowns. Things like that. Small things. All right, anyway, so Pelican goes opts for Tracer on defense here. Here we go. A lot of just playing safe, playing smart, playing around the map. Taking away the angles. Pushing in as the team goes. Nice play by Pelican. I want to show you what they've done, by the way. So basically, last time, the strategy of Cheeseburger was to take this side of the map, right? Like, this is their map. They want this side of the map. This time around, with Banar and Pelican, they collapsed the side. Do you see this? So, like, if I went in the air, you can see that they've now, like, basically taken the angles. So you see how over here you have Probe and Bliss. Over here you have Pelican, and now you have Banar up here. They basically cornered them. Cheeseburger basically got caught in a spot over here where, like, they have nowhere to go. It's either you make an individual play and you 1v1 somebody, or you just lose the team fight. Like, that's it. Like, there's no other option here, teamwork-wise, that could work. So Pelican's gonna play to live, because you already got a pick, right? And then now you collapse them, and then eventually you start to grind them down. See? There's the pick on that. You've collapsed them. Now you're just on the point. You're gonna take the 1v1s. You get cooldowns out. They're gonna slowly tap. Tracer's next. They know Tracer has no cooldown, so it's now Pelican's job to go for, yep, there it is. Sigma's next because of no eat. Then you go for Lucio. Might stay on card just in case, and boom. And that right there, well, earlier when Cheeseburger took that part of the map, there wasn't as much of that rotation, it felt like. So this time around, they basically created a triangle there and cornered them into a spot and then slowly grinded them down. So really good strategy, and obviously they were on Tracer this time instead of Genji. I think Tracer allows for a little bit more of that, like, extra poke. So that was really well played by Zeta. And keep in mind, this was at a point where all of these matches were like Zeta needed to win. They were down 2-0 to start this series. I want to point that out. They were down 2-0. Right? Pelican's going for that spot. Remember on Genji, Pelican went for the high ground. This time the same concept. You're controlling this side of the map. Backing away to survive. Yep. Just very, very smart. Waiting on some cooldowns. You're going to see a little bit of... Now, chat, I want to point something out here. And you're like, well, why shoot across the map like that? Okay? Now, I guarantee there's going to be some tracers who are a little bit more patient there. Some tracers who aren't, right? That's just a part of how it's going to work, right? But one thing I want you to take into account in that situation, all right, is think about the DPS passive. DPS passive lasts for a while. So even just throwing that out here and shooting at them, DPS passive, and you're kind of being like, hey, I'm over here, right? I'm over on this part of the map, like, look at me. Sometimes that's just enough. So sometimes that's all you need. Like you want them to know you're here so that way they have to worry about it. If they don't look at you, you do this. You come into the back line, you pressure them, you now have control. And again, they've done what they wanted. Look at what they've done. I just want to show you the map here. They did exactly what they wanted to do. Look at the position right now. They forced Cheeseburger to one side of the map. Do you see this? And this right here is what's so impressive sometimes, is like as you watch them move around the map, you're seeing it all methodically happen. Cheeseburger has no map control anymore. They're hecked here. There's no way that they can survive this outside of a really good individual play. Because they've used a lot of cooldowns. They're stuck here, and now they're just here. And now they can just grind them down slowly, and they have to go to the cart too. Sigma's going to have to use cooldowns just to get there. Hey. Yep. They got cleanse out. Here's all the cooldowns. Now Pelican can just vibe. Just don't feed. Yep, you've cornered them into a room, and they've slowly just grinded them down. And look at that. And just like that, they won the map. So that was really cool to watch. Like, I don't get to watch too many... Like, I haven't watched too many DPS point of views recently in pro play. And on top of that, both Genji and Tracer. So being able to see two different playstyles played in the same game and see how it's applied was really cool. So that was fun to watch. I love watching the rotations, and I love their adjustments they made. Like, adjustments like that are what's so key in pro play. So to see it happen and, like, during this VOD was really cool. So that was fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed. I actually had a lot of fun watching these videos. Let me know another player you'd like me to watch. Maybe even the map. Maybe specifics here. Let me know in the comments. We have more videos right here. Make sure to check them out. And I hope you all have an amazing day / night.